Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Libby. I created this channel to share my learnings and things I enjoy in hopes to inspire at least one person and build a high vibrational community. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for the people I've connected with on this journey. I'm sharing my heart. I'm sharing what I learn here almost every day in hopes that I can connect to your heart. And I would love to learn what you learn as well and just create a beautiful high vibrational community. So today I want to talk about co-parenting, what I've learned so far on my journey with my son's dad. It's been about 3 years, so we have a long way to go, but we've definitely had some ebbs and flows and I've learned from them and we're in a really good spot right now. So I hope some of this can help you. So one thing I realize is my son's dad's happiness fuels my son's happiness. So I don't deliberately do anything that's going to take away from his peace. I try to keep things as peaceful and harmonious as possible and knowing that that will affect my son. I think about, every time I call, how is daddy when he answers the phone? Is he frustrated? What does my son see? And vice versa. If my son is here and I answer and I have an attitude with his dad, I want it to be as peaceful as possible. So that's kind of the overarching idea that's in my mind of how I want this to go. Then I think about trust. And there's been times where I think, oh my gosh, the trust is never going to build back up. But I realize that it is a building it's a building system and it changes over time with every relationship. And so you kind of have that baseline that you can build on and then it crashes down below that baseline and you have to build back up. But there are little things like, hey, I'm going to be there at this time and following through on that, making your words and actions match that can start building back up. Even if there's resentment there is ways to just keep your children's peace and harmony in mind over your whatever spite you might have for your ex. So another thing that's helped us is having a set time and place that we trade. So when I go to pick up my son, I pick him up at the same place, same time, on the weekend almost every time. And if I know it's going to change, I try to the day before or the morning of, at least 3 hours in advance, say, hey, what's your flexibility? Can you be earlier? I'm going to be over there at this time, or can you be later? And try to have little surprise there. I've seen where people don't have set times and places. And when it comes time to pick up their kids, they're chasing each other all around town. And so that creates chaos for yourselves and for your children. And my goal is peace, love, and harmony. So then I think about boundaries and values and, what can be flexed and what can't. So one value I held on to for a while is veganism. I'm a vegan and I love the planet. I love animals and I want, that to fuel throughout my life. And so when my son is here, he's a vegan, but daddy doesn't have the same values. He eats meat. And so I have let go of that, knowing that, my actions support my values. And if my son chooses this journey, he can decide that when the time comes. We have talked about boundaries, what are shared decisions, what needs to be discussed, and what are things that we put in place for safety. We cover him in sunscreen before he goes out in the sun so he's not sunburnt. If he gets a haircut, it's a shared decision. And sometimes you have to learn these things through trial and error. And hopefully it's things that are replaceable, like getting a haircut. And you realize, oh, that is a boundary. That is a shared decision where the other person might not realize that. So learning and just seeing how you can grow from the darker times is huge. And the times that we have not been able to understand each other, I feel very lucky, and I hope you are too, to have access to counseling services, whether it be a counselor or through EAP, employee assistance programs. A lot of employers have, and I've been able to bring my son's dad to those sessions so that we can get through our miscommunications and the very different way that we view things. And that has led to a lot of peace and will help equip us for the next 15, 30 years. So we always fall back on that. I've used that over going to my friends and family because they have biased opinions of us. They can be very helpful, venting and things like that. But as far as advice and a professional opinion on, hey, because I might be saying one thing, but they might be able to read in and know that it might be something else, or I might be way down here and I need to kind of come up here. So that has been super helpful. Communicating on a schedule. So communicating 2 to 3 times about a schedule change has been really helpful. For example, I have a holiday party this coming Thursday. So 3 weeks ago, I asked my son's dad, hey, it's my night. I have a holiday party. Can you watch our son this night? He's like, yeah, sure. So then I know that I need to remind him 2 to 3 to 4 times to make sure that this goes smoothly. And this might sound like work, but it beats frustration. So over the weekend, I saw him in person. I said, hey, this is the week where we have, this change, and will you be able to come over at this time, etc. And then I'll text him the day before and then the morning of to make sure that we're aligned, because people can get caught up in their days. It's not his job to memorize my schedule. And I would rather do these extra measures that take 30 seconds than sit and be frustrated. And I don't want to be frustrated in front of my son. I want to think about the temperament that each of us have when we answer the phone to each other around our kids. Is mommy or daddy telling the truth? Are they frustrated with each other? What's the tone every time mommy calls? Is daddy get mad, or is it peaceful? So I think about all those things, and I realize that kids pick up on so much. So I look into it even deeper. This is how a daddy treats a mommy, and a mommy treats a daddy. This is how a woman treats a man. This is how a white woman treats a black man. A black man treats a white woman. So there's all these kind of things that kids can read into and see. And I want him to see really good examples of how relationships, especially ones that you decide are over in a relationship, romantic aspect, can flourish in different ways because of the love for him. I want to show him that ultimate love. This is for you, baby. Like this is all for you. So I bring it back to our common goals of just wanting to surround our son in as much peace and love as possible, and safety, and letting that fuel everything else. So I hope this is helpful to you in some way. I'm sending you a big, huge hug. I hope that this helps you on your journey. And if you have any tips, please share them, because we can all help each other. Much love.